Got Viktor here from Boosty Labs, long-time Bitcoiner. Share some of your thoughts and just where we're at and where we're going.
What I want to say, first of all, that Bitcoin finally became programmable. Maybe in some sort I could say that I'm one of the pioneers of Bitcoin DeFi. I found Bitcoin as a potential replacement of e-money, and for me, power of Bitcoin as well as power of most of other cryptocurrencies is.
Thoughts on AI and the state of AI is at the moment.
So AI need to have lots of computation in order to keep evolving. And because of that push, now we have what we have for AI industry. But AI industry needed more and more. So
Blockmates Orange is sponsored by Core.Network, the ultimate Bitcoin-powered EVM-compatible blockchain. Learn more about Core at blockmates.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of a Blockmates Orange. Got Viktor here from Boosty Labs. I don't think there's anything that hasn't been done or that Viktor can't do in the space. They run a dev shop, long-time Bitcoiner, maybe kind of like a different kind of Bitcoin maxi, but brought him in today to discuss, the state of Bitcoin DeFi, where it's all going, what the future looks like, and obviously just catch up with him and what his journey's been. I think there's some really interesting nuggets there for all of us. Viktor, welcome to an episode of a Blockmates Orange. It's good to have you. Thanks for taking the time to join us and share some of your thoughts and your journey and just where we're at and where we're going. Today's podcast is sponsored by Glyph. Glyph is a non-custodial decentralized exchange operating on the Core network. As you know, we've spent a lot of time focusing on Bitcoin DeFi on this podcast, and essentially what Glyph is doing is replicating what Uniswap has done on Ethereum. So they are obviously dedicated in developing a sustainable and innovative DEX on top of Bitcoin, much like Uniswap, and just taking this whole Bitcoin narrative to the next level. So they've got a unique non-custodial approach which allows users to retain ownership of their Bitcoin while enjoying the benefits of a decentralized exchange experience. Their website is glyph.exchange, and you can go and trade a variety of assets there like BTC, USDT, USDC, and a lot more. Go check them out.
Sounds good. Thank you, Jedi, for inviting me here. And what I want to say, first of all, that Bitcoin finally became programmable during a previous bear market, because I was like, in 2021, everyone so pumped on Ethereum DeFi summer, blah blah blah, and I was like, and where is a Bitcoin DeFi summer? Where is Bitcoin DeFi in general? And now, with all this industry ecosystem of Bitcoin DeFi companies progressing, I'm now finally became excited because back in 2021, when I started just to think about it, I did research and I found almost no Bitcoin um, DeFi companies, or at least companies that could pretend to be a DeFi companies, and that's why I actually decided to invest in and support to build probably first Bitcoin staking company, just because out of curiosity, that like if no one is building Bitcoin DeFi, maybe I should start to do it. So maybe in some sort I could say that I'm one of the pioneers of Bitcoin DeFi, just because I was so sad to see that there is no one is doing this, and now here we go. Um, I'm in Bitcoin since 2015. I was never been a maxi. I found Bitcoin in in 2011, 2012 as a interesting uh, potential replacement of e-money, similar to PayPal or Venmo. But then I was just thinking about this as a community-driven e-money kind of thing. I was never deep into technology of Bitcoin up until 2015, when I started my first business actually in Bitcoin space. It was the first East European Bitcoin conference, Bitcoin blockchain conference, Kiev, Ukraine, September 2015. It was This conference was quite good, and it was a huge conference as for Bitcoin development of that time. We had 400 people. most of those people right now are like multi-millionaires, if not billionaires. And some of them like build so much great stuff. I believe someone from co-founders of Ethereum been there as well. But well, that's when I actually understood the power of Bitcoin. And for me, power of Bitcoin as well as power of most of other cryptocurrencies are community. It's not a technology, because kind of like a technology can be corrupted, even if it is decentralized. But community cannot be corrupted, because essentially technology is just a set of rules that been programmed by a certain community. So community created those rules, and community can actually destroy those rules. So that's why when someone is saying that Bitcoin is immutable, I would say Bitcoin is actually not immutable. Community of Bitcoin is immutable, and that's why community is actually defending Bitcoin security. Because again, like if you will do 51% attack, you can kind of like destroy Bitcoin. Well, not destroy. You can fork it, and it will not be that powerful Bitcoin. But miners will never do it, because for what? They have skin in the game. They also they need community to feel safe, because if community will not feel safe, then the price for Bitcoin will go down, and if because everyone will start to dump, and then for miners it will be big losses. So this kind of interesting ecosystem community effect, even back then, excite me a lot. Then in 2016, I uh, joined a company called Boxdrive, which was one of the world's first decentralized cloud storage companies. And a little bit after that, in 1 year or year and a half, I joined a company called Storj, which is one of the oldest companies in crypto. Even Vitalik Buterin been involved in this company in early days. He helped to Sean Wilkinson, founder of Storj, to write this white paper. I was one of the co-authors as well. And actually, Storj being so powerful company, it's actually still powerful. It's one of the maybe a few companies in a decentralized cloud storage space that actually works and that is enterprise grade, fully S3 compatible storage. But back then it was just a big idea of Sean that AWS can be decentralized. And they invited me to help them to build this journey. I was storage node growth lead for Storj for a long time, for what, 3 or 4 years. And Storj also became my first client for Boosty Labs. This is my biggest company in blockchain industry that I built so far. Boosty is one of the largest blockchain development, outsourcing, and consulting company. We work with Coinbase, Ledger, Blockchain.com, Consensus, Wallet Connect, 1inch, Stellar, Animoca, Paraswap. We work with big international companies such as Temasek or McKinsey or Vodafone. So yeah, we've been in this space for quite a while, and this helped us to build lots of different use cases. And our clients like us because we know what works and what doesn't. That's why actually 3 years ago I started to look at Bitcoin DeFi, uh, because I understood that I know that DeFi works, but somehow DeFi is in Bitcoin is not work. So I just decided to come with my expertise and my understanding and my belief in Bitcoin, and solve it. And that's how we started our first venture studio initiative. It was a project called Stroom.Network, Stroom.Network. It still exists. Just finished amazing testnet launch. Stroom is doing Bitcoin liquid staking on Lightning Network. Because the guys who started this company, they've been employees of Boosty when they came to me with that idea. They told that when they used to work at Bitfury, Bitfury founder told them, guys, like, let's create ICO on Lightning. And they came to me with this idea, Victor, ICO on Lightning is actually possible if we'll abstract Lightning liquidity provision for routing business as a kind of staking. And so we will issue a STBTC, and we'll have our DAO token. And that's how actually I fell in love with this idea. And then I started to build more companies in Bitcoin space within my venture studios. Um, and so far, we have company called runesdex.com, which is a AMM like DEX on Bitcoin runes protocol, which will start to support more UTXO based chains in the future, such as Dog or BCH or Cardano. It's already live, so people who like to buy sell runes, they can start to use it now. We have pretty good TVL to trade against. We are also launching tomorrow another super fun thing called Big.Fun. Big.Fun is like Pump.Fun but for Bitcoin. So now era of Bitcoin memes can be real on the biggest meme coin chain ever, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of the biggest meme coin ever. People just thinking, oh, it's so serious, it's so serious. No, um, hell no. Like back in 2010 or 11 or 12 or even like probably up till 2013, everyone was thinking about this as a meme coin. It was just a belief of group of people that this makes sense. Actually, no coins, no cash, no currency doesn't make sense. But the only thing that makes sense is what I told in the beginning. It's community effect, and
Yeah.
Bitcoin is so big just because so much people believe in Bitcoin, and Bitcoin has the biggest and strongest community ever. I don't know even like if something else has such a big community. Maybe Apple, maybe well, I'm not sure about Microsoft, but maybe Apple. That's it. That's why Bitcoin will be with us forever. And Bitcoin DeFi was so needed thing to build because well, okay, we have Bitcoin, so what next? Just buy Bitcoin and hodl. Great idea. I regret that I never done it so much as I should in my early days of crypto, as probably
Yeah.
lots of my friends regret as well. But we don't need just to hodl. We need to have some utility for this Bitcoin, and gold has utility. You can make a nice jewelry out of gold. You can, I don't know, like have a have a gold chair or whatever. I'm kidding, but at least it's nice and fancy thing. And Bitcoin is not as nice as gold, but Bitcoin is super flexible financial asset. So why not to make art out of it? Why not to make ordinals as NFTs? Why not to make meme coins like runes on top of Bitcoin? Why not to create exchange, marketplace, lending protocols on top of Bitcoin blockchain? 3 years ago, probably most of the people will tell me that I'm crazy, but well, we had a taproot upgrade, and with a taproot upgrade, we now can make Bitcoin programmable. Not as programmable as Ethereum because Bitcoin still has no virtual machine that can do many cool stuff on top of it. Bitcoin is actually very slow, so you need to have something like Lightning or RGB to accelerate the speed. But all those technologies are progressing, and soon with Lightning, RGB, Arch Network, runes, ordinals, we can actually can get on Bitcoin same what we see on Solana and Ethereum combined, or even like a quadrupled out of those numbers. Because again, Bitcoin has the biggest community. As the only thing that Bitcoin has no compared to Ethereum and Solana is programmability and speed. But Lightning, RGB, runes, and some other technologies actually solving this pretty well. We just need to, they're just like a super hard to build. I'm involved in all of those tech in some sort with my venture companies or with my dev shop, and I can prove that actually building on Bitcoin is even not twice harder, 10 times harder than build on other chains. And sometimes you're thinking, oh, maybe no one needs the decentralization. Maybe that's why Binance is so successful, because no one cares about decentralized exchange. Everyone cares about fast and best execution that Binance providing, being its X. But it's a wrong way of thinking. We always need to think about decentralization because it's the goal for all crypto nerds like us is to build the immutable systems, immutable products, and the decentralization is the key. So yeah, that's why I'm so excited of doing everything Bitcoin related, and being here with you, JD, to talk about this like amazing Bitcoin stuff.
Thank you for that. I'm really curious to get your thoughts around the whole idea of building directly on Bitcoin L1 versus using an EVM platform as a means for essentially contract. So the idea of EVM contracts combined with the security of Bitcoin L1, and what that dynamic is. Are you looking primarily at a combination of the two, or are you looking primarily at just building on the L1, or are you just looking at building on the EVM on the sidechain side of things?
Both things could work. Just depends on what type of goal you're looking for to execute. So my statement that I like to repeat on every other Bitcoin conference is that there's only one Bitcoin L2 exists, which is real L2. It's Bitcoin Lightning
Yes.
Network. Just because
Correct.
Lightning being created for fast execution of Bitcoin transactions within the same standards as you have on the Bitcoin chain, but just Lightning leverages technology of payment channels just to use it as a L2 ledger that just like exchange the balances between the wallets off chain. That's mainly it. But you still, but your assets is still on a Bitcoin. You still kind of control them because if you go to any other L2 that we have on the market right now, well, let me think of whom. Let's say Merlin chain or Bitlayer or um, RSK. So when you go to these L2s, you delegate your bitcoins to bridge one of the bridges that those chains support, or to their decentralized bridge, whatever. You still delegate this money to the bridge operator, and as we know, the 60, if not 70, if not 80% of all hacks in a DeFi history was on a bridge side. So bridges are broken, bridges are fragile, and if you are saying that you're L2 but you actually L1 with a bridge,
Yeah.
you need to notify to your users that actually it's not, well, you can name yourself O2, O3, O5, O10, whatever, but you need to also tell to your users this is actually L1, and you delegate custody of your funds to a third party, and if the third party will be fucked, then it doesn't matter what balance you have on your L2 or L10, your money will be just gone, and then you just like need to trust to this L2 that they will like return you some of the money that you breached to them, or you will just like be with this balance and I don't know, do with this whatever. So well, most of these Bitcoin L2s are not trying to steal your money or go somewhere. Like hopefully they're not a scams. They're just not L2s. They're just L1s with a bridge to Bitcoin. Another reason for that is it doesn't matter, and we don't need to have multiple O2s if we have Lightning, because Bitcoin for a long time was a chain of just one coin of Bitcoin. So what's the purpose of having hundreds of O2s if you can just have hundreds of Lightning Network channels? uh, but business of L2s is create a DeFi, create mainly DeFi, and DeFi require you to have multiple other assets on top. So as Bitcoin has no assets besides Bitcoin, it's another reason why there is no sense to have L2s. Well, with the runes protocol, and also even before that, we had the colored tokens, and this first decentralized exchange that was released in 2014 or 13, called Counterparty XRP, XCP. So those tokens, those standards can actually be used as a, settlement layer for those L2s. And now we just need to think about a way how to bridge without bridging, or how to actually just mirror your account balance to your another L1, which we will call eventually L2, so such as Merlin or Bitlayer. And here, the probably the biggest update on the biggest innovation here is done by guys behind OpCAT protocol. So that's why everyone's so waiting OpCAT release, because OpCAT will be with OpCAT you will finally be able to upgrade your so-called L2 to be a real L2. So that's why everyone in Bitcoin DeFi is waiting for this as much. So it will be kind of native compatibility of anyone who calls himself O2 with Bitcoin, because right now only Lightning can be like that, just because of specific architecture of payment channels, and this interoperability with Bitcoin itself. Um, yeah, yeah. So I will. It's my uh, take on Bitcoin Autos. But I like the way what they're doing, because eventually, it doesn't matter if they call themselves L2, they onboard more users to Bitcoin, and if some of them will succeed well with the community building, we will just have a few more people on Bitcoin than we had before, and we will take more people from Ethereum, from Solana, back to Bitcoin. So what they're doing is actually good. We will just hope and we'll wish them a good luck for it, because um, like a blockchain is so connected ecosystem, and if this Bitcoin L2 will not be good, but it will have hundreds of thousands of users, those hundreds of thousands of users will stay on Bitcoin. They will just migrate to another L2 or even L1. I like to build more on L1 rather than L2, and use L2 more as a tools. Runes DEX, which is AMM exchange on AMM like exchange on runes, we build it on a Bitcoin L1, so no L2s. Potentially, in the nearest future, we will use Lightning Network as a transactional execution abstraction for our users, because right now, if you go to runesdex.com and we'll try to swap one rune against in exchange of Bitcoin, or Bitcoin in exchange of rune, you will need to wait for one Bitcoin confirmation until pardon, one Bitcoin block, until you will get your balance updated on your wallet, and one block can take between 10 and 40 minutes, and it's not super cool to have such delays. That's why centralized way of abstraction works better here. But if we want it to be more on chain and more decentralized, we need to think about some solutions. And That's why we like Lightning. That's why we like RGB, because RGB brings programmability to Lightning, and also some form of privacy. But RGB is it will take some time until RGB will become solution. Even mainnet, we still need to wait for like a real solid mainnet to go live. But we're still a big believer in this. We have a joint venture with Tether on this, called Thunderstack.org. So we are trying to make RGB. Um, uh, more developer friendly for developers who want to build on top of it. So that's why I we I know like lots of guys who are Bitcoin maxi, and for like the last couple of years of building something in Lightning, I saw so much people who were saying, "Oh, if you're talking about Ethereum or Solana or Runes, Ordinals, just like don't talk to us because it's not cool, it's not canonical. It's Bitcoin. We only need Bitcoin." And um, I try to understand why they're saying so, because I mean, like the biggest Bitcoin maxi supporter is actually Tether, and Tether is exists on multiple chains, and Tether is not just Bitcoin. But then I just I understood those people because they've been with the Bitcoin for so long. And when they just started, they saw multiple shitcoins like a peer coin or green coin or whatever other coin, and they're not exist anymore. We maybe have like a few of them like Litecoin and I don't know what else exists. Whatever Bitcoin Cash. Well, Bitcoin Cash is from 2017. So that's why those people are so skeptical. But runes and ordinals especially, like runes came a little bit after. um, I remember how these Bitcoin maxi guys hate ordinals and runes because they're loading a Bitcoin block, transactions in Bitcoin becoming more expensive, and blah blah blah. Yeah, that's right, but it actually also open up uh, a channel to onboard new 250,000 unique wallets that have been created just to store ordinals or runes. And those people are so active. They buying those runes, they buying those ordinals. Like for example, NFT market is dead everywhere except of Bitcoin. Only ordinals still have some trading volumes. Some NFT collections are going up in price just because somehow ordinals and runes onboarding more and more new users to Bitcoin, and those users coming with a Bitcoin. With this asset is not going down at some point. So those people are not just like gambling; they are actually believing that this will be better and better as they're actually buying. You can buy ordinals or runes only with Bitcoin. Well, you can buy on Magic Eden with probably USDT, but so most of the people are using Bitcoin to buy. So those guys created ecosystem of people who are not hodlers, of people who are spenders, and that's what we need. Because money should be circulated and Bitcoin should be circulated. That will be one of the biggest adoption points for Bitcoin in the future. Of course, not everything should be on chain, as I told you before. So that's why we need Lightning, RGB, and those Bitcoin L2s. But summarizing this all, everything that's happening on Bitcoin L1 and Bitcoin L2 is so good for Bitcoin, regardless of your philosophy of maxi or non-maxi.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I do think, however, that just to expand on kind of like the way that you see the movement of Bitcoin, and it's kind of my next question with the statement is that surely the collateralization of Bitcoin as a hard asset in order to lend and borrow and earn yield is the next and obvious kind of like step in this journey. What are your thoughts around that? And is that essentially Bitcoin moving around? Obviously from the programmability of Bitcoin, I know that you are able to kind of like lock your Bitcoin and still maintain the custody of your Bitcoin after you've committed to whatever contractual agreement that you might have. How does that now change your idea of Bitcoin moving around?
Um, well, you need to move value around. You can keep Bitcoin in one place. That's exactly how Lightning works. Like a Lightning is like this Lightning channel is still kind of do a custody of your Bitcoin until you settle it back to Bitcoin chain. But you need to have a secure way to move value of your Bitcoin around, and that's what people need. People need to understand that if something bad will happen, they will still get the Bitcoin, but they don't need actually to have Bitcoin on hands. And uh, um, yeah, that's why Lightning is a big thing. That's why DLC BTC is probably the best way to bridge Bitcoin somewhere. Yeah, so yeah, we need to move value around. Bitcoin can still kind of stay in one place. That's why I would rather use Bitcoin blockchain as a settlement layer and L2s as execution layers. That's why I'm waiting OpCAT so much. So when OpCAT will be released, Bitcoin programmability will just go to another level.
So, what exactly is, in essence, around OpCat? Just give us a breakdown in kind of idiot terms, what we can expect and what you think is going to fundamentally change.
Well, so the main thing in easy way is that you can connect any chains to Bitcoin with this OpCAT standard, and the OpCAT standard will allow you to settle whatever coin you have back to Bitcoin in a native way. So you will not need to have a bridge from one chain to a Bitcoin, or from Bitcoin to another chain. It's not about programmability. Programmability will be on a layer two. Bitcoin will not be programmable anyway with OpCat or without. OpCat will just create uh, uh, this thing that not allow Bitcoin to be a settlement layer for everything, but just for Bitcoin. So after that, in financial terms, probably I would say OpCat will create a settlement layer opportunity for Bitcoin to be a chain for any asset.
So, I mean, essentially, what you're saying is that Bitcoin is kind of like potentially going to land up seeing 5x, 10x, 100x more people being exposed to it, and maybe even in a way that they won't even be aware that they are being exposed to Bitcoin or the Bitcoin L1 in light of what OpCat essentially brings to the table. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, so I think from a dev perspective, I mean, this is kind of like your wheelhouse. This is something that you do day in and day out. I mean, what is the kind of like the opportunities that you guys are currently experiencing on the dev side? Is it about institutions coming to you and saying, listen, we need you to build custom products for us? Is it ecosystems coming to you and asking for product? What is the dynamic at the moment in terms of the kind of work that you guys are doing and the kind of people that are approaching you?
Yeah, sure. Mainly, companies are coming to us, or projects or startups, and saying, "Hey guys, we need your expertise because for example, decentralized cloud storage, and maybe you can help us to build something." That's how we started to work with probably the most interesting company on Filecoin ecosystem, Akava.ai. So they were like, "Oh wow, okay, you understand why S3 compatibility is so important. So why not you collaborate with us and create a product that will make sense for clients." Or Bitcoin companies, someone who want to build Bitcoin marketplace, Ordinals marketplace, Runes exchange. They're coming to us and saying, "Well, guys, you understand how this technology works." Because actually Bitcoin is so hard to build. You need to know so many different things just to build a small swap application. I'm not even saying about big trading apps such as Runes.dex is. So because people just know that we know all 360 of Bitcoin, from Lightning, RGB to Runes and Ordinals. They're coming to us. Before that, we've been more kind of a resource for Web3. Everyone were coming to us just to use our developers to just to accelerate their development. Right now, companies are coming to us because we're experts in a certain fields, and we have multiple fields where we're experts. So, Bitcoin, everything Bitcoin related is probably number one. Decentralized cloud storage is will be probably, and everything DePIN related, including computing, decentralized computing, is number two. And yeah, we're also pretty good on Ethereum DeFi side, because we've been one of the first who started to build Ethereum DeFi apps back in 2020, or even like we built something in 2019. Yeah, I would say so. And also our probably fourth like a focus, experience, expertise point is decentralized identity, verifiable credentials. We've been the first company who built DNVC SDK that later being implemented by Singapore government, and company like Affinity, Trastana, Good Worker were using this, and yeah, we are very proud for it. They've been also our clients um, afterwards. Um, yeah. So right now that's why I told in my original introductions that we're a dev shop, but we are also a consulting company. So more and more companies coming for us for consultancy first, and then for development, uh, because blockchain became so fragmented in terms of directions of how you can leverage blockchain for your business use cases, and it's so important to have experts like us who will explain what works and what doesn't, just from a personal experience, because otherwise you will need to spend so much time to do the researches, and so Google is not saying you um, everything and all the issues we faced with when we were building something in 2019, 20. um, you will not be able to find it on GitHub yourself, because like some of the GitHub PRs has no comments, where you will see the pain of our developers towards executing something. So yeah, that's why we're transforming more into consulting company. And actually, my biggest dream for Boosty Labs is to become Deloitte, McKinsey of crypto, that will work with the big enterprises, mainly finance companies or gambling, iGaming companies or payment companies, and will consult them how to build the different product flows, to use crypto to simplify their current business flows. I think those three industries need blockchain more than anyone else. So we want to become a consulting company for them in their Web3 journey.
Thoughts on AI and the state of where AI is at the moment. I actually was speaking to our head of research yesterday, and his opinion was that soon we'll discover that AI was meant for blockchain and decentralization. Um, yeah, I see you nodding your head, and I'm starting to. I mean, I've been thinking about that as well the last kind of 12 hours. And I was actually reading some stuff earlier on, and I actually tend to agree with him. I think in light of privacy, in light of the data that AI needs to function. But I'm just curious. Obviously, you agree. Just what your thoughts are around that. But then also, like, how does this dynamic between AI and Bitcoin potentially play out into the future? Because I have no idea about that, and I'm just wondering whether you have a perspective.
Yeah, sure. Um, well, actually, I would agree with the statement that blockchain was created for AI because of multiple reasons. First reason is computing power. So AI need to have lots of computation in
Yeah.
order to keep evolving. And before 2017, 2016, the industry of like Nvidia was very big company, but it started so blockchain and mining operations started to add additional buying power for everything, for all the chips they were producing. And back then everyone was thinking that this is just another Ponzi that will go to nowhere. But for Nvidia it was like, okay, well, who cares, like we will keep selling our chips and we'll make money. But then uh, 2017, bunch of ICOs, and somehow people started to need more of those chips. Bitcoin hash rate started to grow, and more and more miners started to build bigger and bigger data centers, and they started to buy more and more stuff from those companies like Nvidia. They even created their own companies like Bitmain, Bitfury, and some other companies probably exist right now who are producing this equipment. And because of that push, now we have what we have for AI industry. So, but AI industry needed more and more, and everyone were thinking, oh, why we need to have so much this Bitcoin mining capacity. Because it's doing a so dumb job. It's processing just like a couple thousand transactions per hour, and the Bitcoin blockchain using amount of electricity as one big European country just to mine this. But maybe um, maybe if Bitcoin mining will not be that profitable, those mining operators will just switch to AI and will provide this computing power to AI. Some of them actually did it. And But because they're also besides buying this equipment, um, they also investing in developing this equipment, and the companies who are making those chips, they're receiving more money for R&D, and that's uh, why AI is moving so fast, because blockchain created some monetary value, monetary incentive to evolve it to a level which AI can utilize now. Well, AI need more and more. So AI right now separating uh, from this like a relationship with the Bitcoin miners, because Bitcoin mining is a one task. Doing a computation for AI is a bit different task. So you need to build a little bit different equipment for here and for there. But besides that, um, AI also needs from blockchain not just the power, not just equipment, but also blockchain as a decentralized ledger to do a payment transactions. And that's where the most interesting and the most scary thing sits. um, Imagine if AI, well, it's not even imagine, it's already exists. You know how Coinbase, this base blockchain, currently promoting their AI strategy. They're saying every AI agent need a wallet, and it's actually true. If AI agent will have a wallet, and AI agent will have something, will create a business model that will allow to make money, um, uh, to reinvest to do something else, what AI agent been built for or want to be uh, for. AI agent can start to make money and accumulate them on their crypto wallet, and then use this money to pay to another AI agent or even to a human whom they can kind of slaved through. Well, not a slave, hire, and pay them in crypto, because, well, who don't like crypto? Everyone like crypto. So if AI agents will have a wallet and will do some economical activities that will allow them to generate cash, they're making everything so quicker, so faster, so more efficient than what humans are doing. So with the progressing of blockchain and with the progressing of AI, we can at some point find that humans are not needed at all, because AI agents are doing everything and they don't need us because they have all the cash. They have the place to move money around. They have an internet that's decentralized, and well, hopefully then that we can just like be a friends with them, and so they will just hire us to do something. uh, it's more kind of a scary projection of a future, but it could be actually real because I mean. Well, they can just like peacefully slave us by paying us good salaries and allow us to make money we want, and yeah, so this is an interesting intersection of AI and blockchain. I think most of the people understand it, and actually interesting that Bitcoin Lightning people, been the first who tried AI with crypto. There is a guy who was working at OKX Bitcoin division, Cody Lowe. Um, he left, I believe, from OKX to Replit. Replit is like one of the biggest AI companies in Silicon Valley. But then he switched to Fedi. Fedi Mint is another Bitcoin Lightning company, and Cody actually introduced lots of Bitcoin stuff in SF to all these AI guys. And I remember in last year I was in SF and I was meeting with Amjad Masad, CEO and founder of Replit, and we were talking about Lightning a lot. And I was like, oh wow, like he's a AI guy, but he knows about Bitcoin Lightning so much. And I just found that it was influence from Bitcoin Lightning guys who been the first to understand the power of Bitcoin and AI. And in 13, it was one startup I met in New York. Probably they've been in cohort of Wolf Accelerator. It's probably the only Bitcoin Lightning accelerator. And those guys were building a wallet infrastructure on Bitcoin Lightning for AI agents because Lightning is actually free to use and it's Bitcoin. So why not? Yeah, that's what I can tell about my like a general view, thoughts, and ideas on intersection of Bitcoin, blockchain, and AI.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's definitely something happening there, and it's not surprising. I mean, I think it's a foregone conclusion that AI is here to stay, and it's going to have a massive impact on the way that we do things, and I think also the way that transactions and even smart contracts are designed and executed on the blockchain. In terms of the future of Bitcoin and particularly Bitcoin DeFi, what do you see playing out over the next 5 years, maybe 5 to 10 years? What does the future look like from your perspective? Um, is it more of Lightning Network? Is it more essentially L2s that will be able to be converted? Well, side chains that will be converted to real L2s in the future. It seems like there really is no limit as to where this can go.
Yeah, you're right. There's no limit where it can go. It's hard to predict the future in crypto because industry is changing so quick. But the good thing that Bitcoin is not changing so quick. Uh, that's why Bitcoin DeFi is just starting. I mean, I don't know, like a Bitcoin DeFi TVL is 1, 2, 3, up to 5 bill. I don't think that Bitcoin
Yeah,
DeFi
I
has.
think I think that's a fair number. I think it's around 3 to 4 bill at the moment. I think you got the core DAO network. They're sitting just over 1 billion. I think XSAT sitting at around 800. Merlin's quite big. I think it's probably around 4 billion.
Yeah, but even those numbers are so small compared to what we have on Ethereum or on Solana. Um, so so Bitcoin DeFi has just 5 bill compared to Ethereum or Solana that has like hundreds of bills in TVL. So that's why. Well, I think with all the developments we have now, Bitcoin DeFi should grow to the same level as Ethereum DeFi, or even more. because now we have everything for it. So that's why I think this bull run, in terms of DeFi use cases, will be a Bitcoin DeFi bull run more than anything else. Ethereum has lots of innovations, um, uh, but it could be done better. Ethereum already became slow. I think like what we see on Ethereum right now will be with the same with Bitcoin. Um, Bitcoin will become a settlement layer for all those L2s. L2s will have their own world with own use cases. I don't know, maybe Core will do one thing, Merlin will do another thing, Bitlayer will do third thing, and Lightning and will do just a transactional thing. That's it. So I would see future of Bitcoin programmability uh, in I think it will be similar to what we saw on Ethereum. Uh, I don't know if we will do it better or not because Ethereum done it very well, but now even with everything Ethereum has, Ethereum price is not growing so good, and the reason for it is just there's almost no activities is happening on Ethereum because L2s aid this activity. Bitcoin has a big advantage towards this because people like Bitcoin because it's a Bitcoin. People don't like Ethereum because it's Ethereum. If you like Ethereum, the only thing what you can do with Ethereum if you want to hodl it, you just put it to Lido, and then after Lido or Lido, I mean, or any other liquid staking protocol like Rocket Pool or Stakewise, then this staked Ethereum becoming a part of this DeFi ecosystem. But Bitcoin, um, there's still like old Bitcoin maxi guys who keep their Bitcoin and not selling. There is now lots of ETFs, lots of financial companies that will just buy and never sell it. And Bitcoin programmability DeFi will be just one of the use cases for Bitcoin. And if Bitcoin DeFi market will reach the same level as Ethereum DeFi market, then we could have a problem for other blockchains because other blockchains will start to lose their clients. And everyone will come back to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will be the only chain we will need. So this is my prediction for future of blockchain, for Internet of blockchains. There will be still couple dozens of blockchains that will serve a specific need, but Bitcoin will eat most of them if we will keep working, keep doing stuff in the right direction when we're talking about Bitcoin L2s, Bitcoin DeFi, and things like that. Because again, with L2s, with Lightning, with RGB, with Arch, with Runes, Ordinals, and maybe 10 more stuff that currently building on Bitcoin, we will not need Solana, we will not need Ethereum, we will not need anything. And we'll have just one settlement layer for everything in internet. It will be Bitcoin. If and so we also need to keep in mind that Bitcoin will be adoption of programmability of Bitcoin will be always lower than other chains. So other chains will still have a chance to succeed, but it will be a success for a short term if they will not keep innovating more and more. So the only way to to compete with Bitcoin, it was always like this, and it will be forever. You need to innovate super quick and always. Once you stop to innovate, Bitcoin will eat you, and you will disappear. So that's why I think eventually domination of Bitcoin will regardless of business or price and TVL will be just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger because what other alternative Ethereum was, but Ethereum like a last year and a half Ethereum is stagnating, which is not cool. But Ethereum showed lots of great use cases that now Bitcoin can take. and implement it better. Longer, but still better.
Don't you believe that settlement times on Bitcoin and the slow as they are is a major kind of like hamstring for this whole industry to grow solely just on a Bitcoin standard?
I agree. That's why we have Lightning. That's why we have Lightning plus RGB. That's why we have Bitcoin Lotus. Uh, uh, but if you want to settle to Bitcoin, you're okay to wait for hour or couple of hours to get your real Bitcoin on a real Bitcoin chain. I would say building something on Bitcoin it's super hard, and uh, that's why we need to have a crazy pioneers like myself who are trying to crash this ice and find a way
Yeah.
how to make it better. But essentially, even if I'm thinking right now that I need to abstract the transaction execution somewhere else, but not be on a Bitcoin mainnet, um, it means that other people also who are building on Bitcoin thinking about this. So more of us who are thinking like this about the limitation of Bitcoin, more interesting solutions we will find to not have it as a blocker. And yeah, I think we will find it. I mean, settlement layers for current financial markets, even more even worse than Bitcoin blockchain. So if current economy that moving at the speed of light can afford this settlement times, then why the new financial internet that will be based on Bitcoin will not be able to afford a Bitcoin block time? I think like it just matter of abstraction, and Lightning is like one of the best abstractions for speed. But I'm sure that there is like more stuff to play around with.
Yeah, I think it's extremely like interesting that you do have the perspective that you have, and I mean there is really like I think what's interesting about it is whether you agree with it or not is that it's a possibility and it is playing out at the moment, so it's definitely in your favor. But I'm more kind of like leaning towards um, a combination of all of these things. I think all of these blockchains have a role to play. I don't think we arrive at one point. I think we arrive maybe out of the 1,000 that are here now, maybe we arrive at 100. And it's going to be really interesting. I mean, we're in the space, we're on this journey. It's going to be really interesting to see, where we arrive at. And I mean, I think it will be nothing short of spectacular when we do get to that point. I think AI is a big part of that. I think we've got a lot to look forward to from that perspective. And then obviously the work that you guys are doing, it's kind of like, well, we're in it, we're building, and it's been really cool to get your ideas and your perspectives on what it is that you guys are doing at Boosty. Thank you, Viktor, for your time. I see we're at the top of the hour. I could quite easily carry on for another hour, but
Yeah.
we can't. So thanks for your time, and it's really kind of you to battle the traffic in Bangkok. We know that the traffic there is crazy.
Super crazy.
Yeah, appreciate your time, and yeah, good luck with all the work that you guys are doing, and for your valuable contribution to the space. It's very much appreciated, and yeah, we're always interested. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jedi. I appreciate your support, your time, and your community, because community is everything.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is one thing I completely 110% agree with you. Community is everything, and yeah, we're very lucky to have a great community, and yeah, thanks for that. Thank you everyone for joining us on another episode of A Blockmates Orange. Please like and subscribe. Always appreciate it. Appreciate your time, and thanks for joining us. See you guys next time. Take it easy.
Ciao.
Quick one, nothing here is financial advice. It's for entertainment and educational purposes only. Always do your own research or speak to a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Like and subscribe.